GM everybody. Get started here in just a moment for your weekly ops sprint. If we could get the lo-fi bot off stage here, just a moment while everyone rolls in. My attempt did not work, but it looks like it did now. Someone else probably took care of it. Thank you. GM everyone. Welcome to the weekly app sprint. Hope you all had a wonderful weekend. Up first, we will start off with Donna and the customer support team. I'm inviting you up now, Donna, GM. Huh.
Previous week's ticket count and a 22% decrease from the past 8 weeks average. Resolution time is currently up to 7 days. First reply time is at 24 minutes. One touch tickets is at 53%. Total solved tickets is at 261. This is a 22% decrease from last week's report. It was quite quiet week last week. And as you can see, our resolution times are longer than we'd like. Please know that we are strategizing to improve that by changing some Zendesk rules in such a way that any agent on shift will take over a particular ticket instead of waiting for someone to come back from their rest days. Hopefully, through these changes, we can speed up resolution times and be able to provide a better user experience. Basically, that's it for support. Happy to let you guys know that there are no major blockers to report this week. Thanks and good morning.
GM Donna, thank you for those updates. Next up, we have Hunt Ortosi with Growth and Globalization. I am looking to get an invite up. I'm not seeing either of them here. Oh, I see Pcoin coming up. I will hand the mic off to you after I read for Growth and Globalization here. Um, Partnership call update. They spoke with Circle USDC about a potential KYC-less stablecoin on-ramp last week. And then also God's Unchained Staking Part 2 collab to kick off on Tuesday, the 18th. That's pretty exciting. They are working on a POG collab for ETHDember. If you are a 90s kid or remember the 90s fondly, you will remember Slammers and Pogs, and I believe T. Wells brought that opportunity to us, and I believe the Growth and Globalization team are jumping on it. That's exciting. Kickoff this week for Voice/Social Brand Guide Edition in the collab with Product. I believe this was a project that Toasty had wanted to work on for part of the reason for establishing this workstream and combining it with globalization. And then secure a spot with ETH Barcelona. I am not exactly sure, but I know that Hunt has been on Team ETH Barcelona for a while, so I'm sure that they are looking forward to getting that kicked off. Next up, we have Pcoin with Marketing. Welcome up, Pcoin.
GM, everyone, GM. For this week, everything is about the V2 launch. By the end of the day today, we'll have everything buttoned up and be ready to go. Scheduled to go live on the 20th, unless things change based on the go-no-goes. And we will have things scheduled. We will be launching at 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, all with the press release, everything else to quickly follow after that. And then after today, we're having another roundup, and then we're going to launch a few more campaigns on Organic Social and Colony Mission Control this week, but everything comes second to the V2 launch, which we're very excited about. And GM, everybody.
GM Pcoin. Next up, we have Giantkin with the Mod Squad. GM Jankin.
GM. All right, let me get back to where I was. I did set up a new bounty category. Trying that out to see if that'll work better. So if we can all post links in there and maybe channel everybody one spot instead of every direction. And there's Foxy in there now, which is its own idea channel. Maybe it would have better focus. Recently, a lot of people, scammers are trying to get in with help desk official admins, moderators, and hopefully nobody will fall for the something obvious or not. Don't trust anybody. But as soon as we see them, we get rid of them, obviously. Mod Squad's been removed from the game. Global ban list, kind of work on that all the time. It's just something I copy in, and one of us works on adding them one by one. I would like to anybody know a bot that handles voice channels better, mute and unmute, because the server mute is permanent, and I hate to use it because no one can seem to undo it sometimes, just randomly. And that's all I got. Thanks.
Thanks, Jankin. Hopefully you can dig out in adequate time with those 20 inches of snow you got.
Yeah, I'm thinking tomorrow.
GM. Next up, we have Fox McCloud with product talking for Diggy today. Welcome up, Fox McCloud. How are you?
Thank you, Ron. Doing well. Hope you're doing well as well. GM, everyone. Yeah, Diggy is out this morning, so if anyone does have any product needs, feel free to reach out to myself. Was a good week last week. We had a great call with a couple members of the Rari team about a possible feature integration, and I'm sure you guys have also seen on the forums the talks of a token swap. We obviously have been using Faye and Rari for quite some time, so getting an actual more inline partnership will benefit both our DAOs greatly, I believe, and being able to get that integration into V2 eventually will be very cool to be able to lend right out of Fox and Friends pools and other pools as well. Still needs to go through kind of the product flow to get prioritized, need to build specs still and UI UX. So we're still a very long way out, but at least we got the ball rolling with that last week. If you guys have been in any of the other meetings this morning, you've heard about this multiple account thing with mainly to help resolve the Bitcoin issue. What happens if you have multiple formats, SegWit native, SegWit legacy, etc. It's also going to just take a better approach to how V2 looks at assets and accounts. So that's being finalized by Beard right now and should be out for the V2 launch, which is very exciting. Speaking of the V2 launch, which I know Pete was up here talking about earlier, that is almost everyone's priority this week. We'll be helping out with testing and anything else anyone else needs. Very excited for that to launch, as well as keep key settings and being able to set up the initialization flow and other keep key setting features that exist on beta that don't exist on V2 yet. We're in the process of creating specs and UX to bring all that functionality over to V2. That is not a blocker for the V2 launch, but hopefully will be a fast follow. Foxy, yield bearing fox. We're going to have a product call with Toshi, who's leading that bounty up to start talking about specs and designs. Very excited for that meeting. And then finally, we're creating a bounty for the gem integration, which should be ready later this week. And that, of course, is our fiat on-ramp and off-ramp for V2. And hopefully we'll have a fast follow to also have on Juno, but we want to make sure we have at least one. And Gem has also agreed to do rev sharing with us, which is fantastic. So that will be a very mutually beneficial integration. And that's all we got from product.
Thank you, Fox McCloud, for those updates. Next up, we have Josh with engineering. GM Josh.
GM, oh, I like your new avatar.
Thanks. Bufflecorn.
Yes, I see it. It's a very nice one too. Right. Well, it's good to hear some common themes amongst all the work streams, and so engineering's priority for the week is the public launch of Web v2, and we have found a keep key restore bug, so we had to take one of our engineers to work on a beta issue. And then because of that, and also this Bitcoin multiple accounts that is not just related to WebV2, it also needs some work from Unchained, which is where WebV2 gets its blockchain data from. Because of those two things, that's our two engineers that have been working on Cosmos. So I'm not sure, depending on how much work those two things are, I don't know how much Cosmos progress we're going to make this week. But that's because we're prioritizing the WebV2 launch. And then doing some recruiting. We got our open positions posted on Crypto Jobs List, and that's definitely created a little burst anyway. We have 8 applicants so far in the last hour and a half that it's been posted there. And so that's a matter of vetting the candidates. Still haven't had any that we're ready to bring in for any kind of discussion or interviews. More junior ones I'm funneling to look at bounty work, and some of them kind of start going down that route and then they trail off. Some of them don't even respond to that particular suggestion, or it's more than a suggestion. It's if you're interested in this is what we need you to do. And some people, I guess, just aren't willing to put in that much effort. Hopefully we can see some more traction there with an increase of applicants this week. And then you can see the stats here from Ocean on our code activity: 65 PRs and 5 repos, 3 new contributors, and some good bounty work happening. So that's what we got from engineering this week.
Awesome. Thank you so much for those updates, Josh. Next up, we have Mr. Nerdhair with security. I'll send out an invite if you can't invite yourself up. GM Mr. Nerdhair, how are you doing today?
I'm doing okay. Feeling a lot better than last week. So, the priority this week for security is to support the engineering V2 launch efforts. I'm also working on getting some documentation together for the responsible disclosure program to go along with that launch process. I will be following up with Pendo engineers about the security changes that we need them to do in order to move forward with that proposal. And the itchy people have a upgrade to the Fox price oracle that's used for OneFox. And it shouldn't be very controversial, but I do need to review the code for that. So I'll be doing that as well this week. They have a staking vault too, so 2 pieces of code for them to look at. Other than that, I'm doing all sorts of fun engineering stuff. I hope to show off some web worker stuff in demos this week. So anyway.
Awesome. Exciting stuff. Thank you, Mr. Nerdhair. Next up, we have Tyler with operations. Welcome, Tyler. How are you?
Doing well, Ron, GM, and GML. From operations, we had the triage report come out in triage today, if you want to take a look at it. We had 3 reported issues in app.shapeshift.com and 3 in beta, which is a 33% decrease from last week. We didn't have any prod issues last week. I'm knocking on wood as I say that. We have the V2 Go Take 5 scheduled for tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. in E1 All Access. Would love to see you there. I know that we're kind of doing one last final push now from engineering to get the swarmed on the last little things we've got there. So hopefully this should be just getting final sign off and doing the last testing that we need to do there. We have another release that we're pushing out this week as well through the release process that we've been doing weekly, and T-Shifty will be the operations lead on that this week. He's right now working with DeFi and the rest of the team that's swarming to get caught up on what's going on there. So he'll be the one giving the looks good to me when we push that to prod later tomorrow, I would imagine. Operations is hiring 2 new ops assistants. I've already started to have some intro calls with a few interested parties. I've got a couple more scheduled this week. And anyone who is interested, if you are still interested, please reach out to me. Send an email to tylershapeshift@gmail.com. and we can set up an intro call. All of the people who are interested in being ops assistants, I'm also going to get triage roles too, so you can see some of our process. So we probably won't be hiring until later on in the month, but we'd love to have you come join us in triage if you're interested in seeing what we're doing here, kind of similar to how Josh has got some engineers going to the bounty board. And we will have team interviews set up a little later, probably next week, with those interested applicants. We also have operations office hours this Thursday at 11 a.m. I'll be showing off more of the redesigned operations Notion. We've got a whole bunch of cool tracking things that were in there last time. And also I might be presenting on a renewal for our work stream in a proposal that should hopefully be hitting the forum this week. And that's it from operations.
Thank you, Tyler, for those updates. Next up, we have Kent with Tokenomics. Welcome up, Kent.
Thanks, Ron. How's it going?
Doing great. How are you?
Oh, not too bad. Thanks. And howdy out there in Foxland. Hope everybody's good. So yeah, as usual, there's plenty going on with tokenomics. A few timely governance updates to start things off with. And as a reminder, of course, we'll cover all this in more detail tomorrow at 4 o'clock Mountain during our weekly chat. But the liquidity mining and liquidity token or LP token buyback proposal is currently in ideation. If you've been following that, that outlines the next phase for our liquidity mining program, accompanied by an aggressive purchase of our loan liquidity via our Olympus Fox to ETH bond. Despite its big sell-off with the OHM token, reports of Olympus's death are greatly exaggerated. That anytime you have a big sort of token mess like this or sell off, people start freaking out. But the fact is that that has no bearing on our bonds, and also the functionality is still live and working well. So full steam ahead on those. This is your last day to chime in on the ideation phase. So far, it's getting pretty much universal approval, but jump into that in the proposal forum if you want to chime in before I moved that to snapshot tomorrow. Over the weekend, I moved a proposal to ideation, and this one is super exciting. This is the Fox to Fei token swap. We've been talking to the tribe, that is the Rari and Fei communities, about swapping 2 million, 5 million, or 10 million Fox for Fei. Of course, this would be great for getting us more exposure to stables. In addition to that, we really are striving to make to get Rari, for example, more closely integrated into our own product. There's a lot of exciting elements there. I think a real win-win. So on their side, that community will be deciding on how much, which one of those options, 2 million, 5 million, or 10, to move forward with. On our side, the proposal will just be to cover up to 10 million. This will allow us to be flexible with whatever that community decides. So that's going well. Another effort to raise stables is going great too. That is our USDC Olympus bond. We doubled that last week on the TMDC to 2 million over the course of a month. So we're increasing our USDC revenue. We've already earned well over 6 figures of USDC thanks to that. So it's really helping on an ongoing basis to diversify our treasury. Finally, tomorrow we'll be talking about ShapeShift Labs, which is a new sort of kind of a sub initiative, I guess, of tokenomics that'll focus on research and experimentation. I'll dig into more of that tomorrow. But that's it for now, and everybody have an awesome week.
GM Kent. Welcome
GM.
up, Willie Fox, who I believe will be covering the Osmosis update for this week.
GM, everybody. Update this week is pretty short. The breakdown of Cosmos Core and Web has been completed. You can check out the spec doc in Notion. An engineering workstream, as well as the Osmosis team, are busy building it. You can check out their progress in GitHub, as well as the spec in Notion. And you can see they're making good progress, knocking out these tickets. And that's pretty much it. And yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, Willie. Next up, we
bet.
have Willie Fox and Ocean for the Fox Foundation.
GM again, everybody. So update with the Fox Foundation is that we are still working on setting up this entity in Liechtenstein. It's been a process. We are making good progress. It's a lot of like bureaucratic stuff, literally like having to send physical passports across borders to get this over the finish line. Really helps just illustrate the benefits of DAOing it versus traditional legacy corporate bureaucracy. So we're pushing forward with that, and we have this board meeting tentatively scheduled for the 20th, but likely we're going to have to delay that a bit just until the entity is created to make it a productive meeting. But we are ready for that board meeting as soon as the entity is formed. Also, not necessarily a Fox Foundation thing, but something that we're very interested in is Fox Chain. The proposal is live in the forum right now. M. Perkland put this up, and very excited about this. This is something that we will need to exist in order to eventually sunset the ShapeShift servers that are running nodes for the legacy apps. So we're very excited about Fox Chain, and something that the foundation is doing to support this is we are talking with some other groups in the industry that are also interested in Fox Chain and potentially interested in allocating some resources, including developers and stuff, to help us build Fox Chain. So hope to have more information to share there soon once it's more concrete, but we are having those conversations and things are looking good on that front. Another not foundation related thing, but something important for everyone to note, is that the One Fox multisig, this is the multisig consisting of ShapeShift DAO members as well as EG DAO members, is working on launching the Angel Vault in the farming program this week. That proposal passed, and there's just a series of transactions we need to work through to actually deploy this vault. We're about halfway through and continuing to work through those transactions this week and getting help from Mr. Nerdhair on reviewing the farming contracts to make sure they're correct before we fund them. And yeah, the plan is to launch this Angel Vault with $2 million of liquidity from the One Fox treasury itself. And then also the DAO is going to allocate, I think it's about 1.6 million Fox as a part of a farming program to incentivize more deposits of One Fox into the Angel Vault. And that farming program will begin about 48 hours after the Angel Vault launch. So we don't have a exact timeline for this yet. We will share a timeline in Discord as soon as we have a better idea of exactly when we expect this to launch. But just note for everyone this week that there are going to be two major launches this week. Fortunately, there's not any development work required on our end for launching this, although we do have a bounty up. Josh put a bounty up for the Fox farming page to add a CTA pointing people to the Ichi UI to deposit to the Angel Vault. So there is a little bit of development work happening, but it is not dependent on any of the V2 launch stuff, and it's actually in a separate repository. And that's all I got. Ocean, anything else you want to add?
Nope, just here for moral support. You nailed it.
Appreciate you, sir.
Awesome. Thank you to the Fox Foundation members. And if there's anyone else that has anything, now would be a good time to come up. Otherwise, I'm going to bring Lo-Fi Girl up, and everyone can have a great GM. Anybody else is coming up, so I will end the meeting early. Have a great GM, everyone.